Hello, John the Baptist. Apart from Jesus Christ, John the Baptist is probably the most theologically significant figure in the Gospels. As was the case with Jesus, his birth was meticulously recorded. His entrance into the world was marked by angelic proclamation and divine intervention. John's birth not only parallels that of Jesus, but echoes the momentous occasion of the birth of Isaac to Abraham and Sarah. John is a pivotal figure in the salvation history of God. Although his formative years were lived in obscurity in the desert, his public ministry ended nearly 400 years of prophetic silence. John was that voice crying in the wilderness, preparing the way for the coming Messiah. In this sense, his message and ministry marked the culmination of the law and the prophets, but heralded the inbreaking of the kingdom of God. Breaking of the kingdom of God. So John was truly a transitional figure forming the link between the Old and New Testaments. He spans the ages with one foot firmly planted in the Old Testament and the other squarely placed in the New. The central theme of his ministry was "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is near." Matthew 3:2. He was called the Baptist because his practice was to baptize those who responded to the message he proclaimed and sincerely repented of their sins. John was an end-times prophet. He conducted his ministry with an eschatological authority that demanded immediate action. He taught that judgment is at hand. The axe is laid to the roots, and God will thoroughly purge his threshing floor. And the authenticity of repentance was evidenced in every practical terms. Share with those in need, eliminate graft, and prohibit exhortation. John's lifestyle was as austere as his message. He was an ascetic living in the wilderness, clothing camel hair and subsisting on locusts and wild honey. Unlike Jesus, he expected people to come to him rather than he going to them. John was no crowd pleaser. He willingly confronted the hypocrisy of the religious establishment. He did not hesitate to expose the immorality of Herod and chose to die a martyr's death rather than compromise his convictions. All of these characteristics portray John as a fiery prophet proclaiming the apocalyptic message of God. Indeed, Luke says that John came in the spirit and power of Elijah. he goes on to allude to Malachi 4:5, which states that Elijah will return before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. In fact, some contemporaries of John inquired if he were Elijah. The belief that Elijah would return and prepare the way of the Lord can be traced to Malachi 3:1 and 4:5. Such belief is also founded in the extra-biblical accounts of Sirach and Esther. The Gospels also indicate that many believed that Elijah would come first and then Christ. John flatly denied that he was Elijah reincarnated. Nevertheless, Jesus affirmed that Elijah must come first, and that he had come in person of John the Baptist. John fulfilled